Y'all, I already knew Zendaya and Tom Holland were meant to be. Their charts are off the charts. It's not just because they're born in the same year, 1996, and not just because they're a 5 and an 8 life path, but they are both natural ones. They actually have one of the best that I've seen thus far combinations of parental numerology. Do you know what that means? Child, we're going to get into it. Now, natural ones are all about independence, ambition, authenticity, confidence, and individuality. No one will ever want to lose themselves in a relationship. Now, let me just name off a few ones for you, just so you understand the picture that I'm trying to paint. Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, Missy Elliott, Julia Gardner, Lupita Nyong'o, Pamela Anderson, Marilyn Monroe. Okay, let's just say that. That's just to name a few. But we're going to focus on Zendaya and Tom for this video. Now, I actually think natural born ones, which is anyone born on the day 1 or on the day 10, because 0 just amplifies the number in front of it. So if you are born on the day 10, this also applies to you, if not even more. I think ones are actually one of the easiest archetypes because they're the pioneer, they're the originator, the original, the leader, trailblazer. They are the individualists. That means they do not like to be told what to do. They love their freedom. They need purpose. They need to be able to create, and they need to be able to have a career where they can lead. So you'll see a lot of natural ones in leadership roles and positions. Another thing about ones is that they are usually the people that are highly remembered because they're usually the first or the youngest one in the room or the breakthrough artist. They're very comfortable standing alone, so therefore they stand out. Now, the reason why Tom and Zendaya work so well, even though many people assume that ones together could clash because two leaders often do clash. However, healthy ones like Tom and Zendaya, who both come from really healthy backgrounds, really healthy familial environments where their parents are very healthy, they raised them well. Healthy ones aren't so competitive with one another. Whereas ones that come from maybe backgrounds that aren't as privileged as these backgrounds, they might have this highly competitive nature that can become toxic in relationships. But when you put two healthy ones together like Tom and Zendaya, they begin to inspire one another's strength. They begin to admire one another. Tom is always talking about how proud he is of Zendaya, and she always talks about how much he supports her in everything that she does. He's always there on top of her mom being there. So they often come off as encouraging one another as opposed to competing with one another. Now, I haven't usually gotten into life paths on this channel, but I do want to get into that. So let's start with Tom and Zendaya because why not? So Tom Holland is a 5 life path number, and life path numbers are just all of the numbers from your day, month, and year added together and then divided, okay? So Tom Holland is a 5 and Zendaya is an 8. Now, the reason why those numbers are so complementary is because 5s are all about freedom, adventure. They need their fun. All about humor, playfulness, curiosity. They're goofy, they're lighthearted, they're flexible, and you can feel this from him in all of his interviews. And the fact that, obviously he played Spider-Man. Now, 8s are actually all about authority, power, achievement, discipline, presence, executive energy, all about professionalism and really great appearances in public settings, which makes sense because Zendaya is also a Virgo, so this also goes hand in hand. She has a very aligned chart. Now, the thing is, when you put a 5 and an 8 together, it's such a beautiful union because the 5s teach the 8s to relax, to laugh a little bit more. The 5s teach the 8s to explore more. Don't take life so seriously. But then the 8, on the other hand, teaches the 5 to focus, build something lasting, finish what you started. So they balance one another out. Now, here's where their charts get off the charts. Now, I previously made a video where I talk about why we end up with the same numbers as our parents, sometimes our closest sibling. Now, with Zendaya and Tom, they actually have one of the best that I've seen thus far combinations of parental numerology. Now, there are books that talk about the astrology of your parent and how if you're a Gemini raised by a Taurus, you're going to come out very different than a Gemini raised by a Cancer, for example. So there are many theories on how people turn out based off of their parents. And so it doesn't just stop at astrology. It also happens with numerology, and if anything, in my opinion, more so. So with Tom and Zendaya, they have two of the best things that you can have in a parental numerology chart, which is that you want your opposite sex parent or the gender that you're attracted to, you want that person to be that number. So Zendaya's dad is a 1. like Tom, which makes so much sense. Not only is her dad a 1, but her dad's life path is a 1 too, so that amplifies it even more so. And then Tom's mom, not only is she Zendaya's sign, a Virgo, but she's 2 days after Zendaya, which is very significant when you're in that range of the opposite sex or the sex that you're attracted to being that same number as the parent that is that sex, right? So not only is Tom's mom 2 days apart from Zendaya, September 1st, September 3rd, but his mom is also an 8 life path like Zendaya. So his mom has that double numerology that coincides with Zendaya. And then the next thing that you want is the remaining parents to ideally have the same number. So we already took away the opposite sex parent, which they both have on their chart as alignment with them and who they are, right? Zendaya's mom being Tom, Tom's mom being Zendaya, right? So now let's look at the remaining parents. Zendaya's mom and Tom's dad. You want the same sex parent to have the same number as one another. So Zendaya's mom is a 6, Tom's dad is a 6. So those two remaining parents are the same number. So they have the chart, they have the part of their chart where the opposite parent is the same number as each other, and then they have the other part of that, which is that the remaining parents have the same number. Usually people only have one. The fact that they have both says a lot. There's so much going on. There's so many synchronicities, so much alignment with these two. It is fascinating. So I am actually excited to watch them. I'm really excited to see how they prosper and how their relationship flourishes. And then there's the year 1996. I actually also have not talked about the Chinese zodiac on this channel, but why not? Because we're talking about Tom and Zendaya. We have to talk about all the things. They're both 1996, which is the year of the fire rat or the pig, because the Chinese zodiac sort of shifts every so often. So these shifts cause it to have different animals within that year. Now, I won't say too much about the Chinese zodiac, but what I will say is that the fire rats, they're incredibly creative, sociable, and independent thinkers, which literally already describes the 1 traits. So them being a 1 and a 96, super aligned people. I'll say that. I mean, it makes sense. People talk about how Tom Holland has said he wanted all these things when he was younger, and then literally check mark box off the list. They showed that he became Spider-Man. He wanted to work with like a whole bunch of actors that he all worked with all of them. His first crush was literally Zendaya, and now he's marrying the woman of his dreams and got to be in multiple films with her. The fire rats are also huge problem solvers, very adaptable, and incredibly deeply devoted to family and friends, which we can already see that in both of these two. But I will say the one thing about their charts together that we can take from this is that any two people in any relationship, the highest level of connectedness always comes from understanding one another, seeing one another, feeling like I get you, you get me. I feel you, you feel me. I see you and you see me. The more your numbers are closely related, and especially if you have the same number, it almost feels like this otherworldly twin, like, wow, you are me and I'm you. You're my mirror. I see myself in you. I see my downfalls. I see my flaws in you, and I see the power of myself in you. I believe in myself more because I know you. You make me see what's possible for me. And that is incredibly powerful to have in a life partner. So congrats to them on their new marriage. And yeah, I feel like we're all excited to see them more and see where their love and their success takes them. Let me know, are you a 1? Is anyone that you love in your family a 1? Friends, coworkers, bosses, whoever. Do you know any ones, and does this resonate with you? Drop it in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and it's your girl Sakina Iman, and check out any of my other videos. Peace.